Aloha and Tashi Delay, Thursday night class. We do every week, 6 to 8, here from Kauai Tibetan Buddhist Dharma Center on the island of Kauai. And my name is Lama Tashi. This class is recorded, put on our website. And for people that live in different time zones, that makes it easy to access and it's appropriate. Tonight's class is based on the Tibetan Buddhist tradition of shamanistic Lamaism. The Lamas are the source of all of this type of practice or method using sutra and tantric methods. The purpose of all of this is to attain what is called enlightenment. Enlightenment is a term used loosely for the various levels of Buddhism throughout the world. Most Buddhists are practicing in what is called the Theravadan tradition, such as Thailand, Sri Lanka, Burma, China, and so forth. Some actually do sutra practice, and those two levels are called the Hinayana and Mahayana. In the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, we also have the Vajrayana, which is called the Tantric approach. It is more direct, but less accessible to the people who need to practice meditation in the human condition. It's good to understand that in the mind, which is being trained with these various yantra levels, Hinayana, Mahayana, and Vajrayana, that yana means vehicle or method, and that the mind has two natures. Everybody has awareness, and the awareness is mostly limited to what we call the relative aspect of consciousness, which is the drama world, or we call the monkey mind. And in that tradition, most of the Buddhists practicing are what we call for their own purpose, or Hinayana. Then some actually include many others. That's called the Pratyeka Buddhas, and that's where the Mahayana comes in, mostly doing sutras. Sutras are mind training methods using text with specific information to back them up in the form of books or study, and then taught by the lamas. And most Dharma centers do the sutra practices morning and night. They fall into two levels. The sutra practice of the peaceful deities, which are Tara, Chenrei, Z based, and then the tantric practices, which are more direct, sometimes combining the sutra and sometimes not. For your own information, before we take refuge tonight, refuge simply means we're using these outer support of Buddhist teachers, lamas in our case, to help us with our own meditation practice so that we bring ourselves to this state of ultimate awareness called enlightenment, which is simply a state of understanding our true nature and how to use it. And I'm going to show you 3 books that I study from, we study from, Abby, myself, and students here in Hawaii. The first one is about discipline, and this is based on Padmasambhava's advice to his consort, Geshe Sergyo, which was the start of all this transmission from India to Tibet. And it's called Advice of the Lotus Born, and shows a picture of Padmasambhava on the front. And this comes through Rangjun Geshe Publications or Wisdom Publications, sometimes even through Amazon. The second book I recommend is more about the tantric methods and how to understand the nature of mind we call voidness or sunyata. It is a state of bliss, clarity, and insight. And this book called Perfect Clarity is a condensation of many teachers over time, men and women, who comment on this state of consciousness. It's called the Pointing Out Instruction of the Nature of Mind for both Mahamudra and Dzogchen. And these two terms are used in the Kagyu and Karmapa traditions specifically. So this is called the Book of Perfect Clarity, and it's through Wisdom Publication, or Ranger Yeshe Publication. And then one that was just presented to me in class a couple of weeks ago, which I never heard of this teacher, Sangha Rakshita, is his writings over many, many years about all the traditions of Tibetan Buddhism and how they apply to us today. And I've read several sections of this book, and I must say that it's extremely appropriate, but one must have a high degree of intellectual prowess to take it on, because this is ultimate, relative, and ultimate commentary on all of Tibetan Buddhism, or all of the Buddhist traditions, Chinese, Tibetan, Indian, etc. And this is through Wisdom Publications out of Boston. And it's called The Essential Sangha Rakshita. So I'm just putting these three out there for you people, and if you need to have better information on this, you can call me or Abby, or contact us through our website. So now we start with refuge. Refuge is actually three parts. The refuge in the Tibetan tradition is, first of all about motivation. Motivation is the difference between all of the traditions, religions on the planet. And in the Tibetan tradition, it's kind of unique because it's an all-inclusive application of your practice to the benefit of the entire universe of sentient beings. Sentient beings being humans, us, the animal world, and the spirit world. And the universe has these in infinite, we call prolific numbers. For instance, spirits fill the universe. They're everywhere, in your body, in the planets, in the galaxies, in space, everywhere in the universe. And so that's unimaginable, infinite number. Animals on this planet also infinite in number, in the ocean, on the land, and again in our body. The humans, very limited. Human birth is very rare, and it is limited to planets, like animals. So those two, animals and humans, can only appear on planets that are capable of supporting that kind of life form. So having explained this, we'll do the first of the refuge prayers. And if you have this sheet, it's at the top. This is called the altruistic motivation of Tibetan Buddhism. In order to attain enlightenment for ourselves and limited sentient beings, our mothers, we now all together take refuge and offer prostration. We go for refuge to all glorious holy lamas. We go for refuge to all yidams, who are the deities gathered in our mandala. We go for refuge to all the Buddhas, those who conquered the mind and gone beyond. We go for refuge to all this supreme Dharma. We go for refuge to all the noble Sangha. And we go for refuge to all the Dakas and Dakinis, who are the protectors and defenders of the Dharma. All of these possessing the eye of transcending awareness. To the Buddha, Dharma, and this Supreme Assembly, we go for refuge until enlightened. May I, through merit gained from practicing the 6 perfections, accomplish Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. And we chant this in Sanskrit. I'll do the motivation. I'll chant it, and then we'll say together the refuge prayer and the bodhisattva prayer. Da dong go wa nong ge ga dong yong bei shen chen tong che du di ne zhu te chi si zheng chu ning po la chi ki bar du. All den lama nam pa nam la chak su chio. Yedam chokor gi la so nam la chak su chio. Sanjay chom den de nam la chak su chio. Dampe shur nam la chak su chio. Pape gendu nam la chak su chio. Pao kanjo chokyo sume sho ye sheki shendan denpa nam la chak su chio. Sanjay Chodan Choki Chodam La Chenchu Pardu Dagi Chatsu Chi Yagi Jenzo Jipe Sonam Ki Shola Penzer Sanjay Yubam So. So the altruistic motivation is the basis of everything we do. The refuge includes the 3, what they call the 3 jewels, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. All Buddhists do that. And then in Tibetan Buddhism, we have the Lama and the Lama symbols of deities, peaceful and protected, and Dakini, deity, as yoga and meditation. That's all our support. And the actual practice is the 6 perfections or the 6 bodhisattva disciplines. When you enter into this path, you are entering to the unique cult of the bodhisattva. And this cult comes from the word cultural. That's not
another one.
So we're not a religion, actually. You know, religions are all about being a good person and then, karmically speaking, end up in a celestial birth, heaven. And that's okay. That's appropriate. Everybody needs a break. But they're not permanent, contrary to common opinion, modern opinion. But the aspect of the human condition is the best. In the mode of becoming a wisdom-minded person, man or woman. And we use the word insight. Now, insight means going inside. You know, out here we have the Dharma world. We share this with all the humans and animals and spirits. It's a shared reality. And we call it the relative world or mundane existence. There are many terms for this. But being a drama world is full of defects. And the basic defect is pain and suffering itself. And when I say that, I'm talking about in conditioned existence, which is what we are, we find ourselves. The defects are obvious: aging, sickness, and having to leave the body, called death. And moving in transition into the spirit world, and however we think or believe it, how that is. And most people don't have a clue. So it's kind of scary. But that it doesn't stop there. This state of impermanence, which spreads through all the 6 realms of existence, including heaven and hell, it's all about physical, mental, emotional, and in most cases, spiritual pain and suffering. And it's common to everybody. You know, we're all in the same situation. So you have to look at that. You have to kind of know that. And then how do you work with that? How do you lessen it for yourself and others? How do you escape? You know, because, you know, from the moment you take birth, which is the cause of all of this, the aging starts. And, you know, some people don't even make it out of the womb. And they really aren't people till they make it out of the womb. So, in that case, this understanding of impermanence is part of our training. And to know this, it kind of inspires one to go inside. Take care of your own process, your own physical situation, of course, which is absolutely important, which is to maintain a state of good health, you know, by what you eat, what you think, and what you do. And this mental process, the inside mental process is malleable. It's not fixed. It's always changing. But by going inside and learning to focus and use the mental process of imagination, which you're doing that all the time anyway, but to bring the imagination into a state of focus is the practice of meditation. And we have thousands and thousands of methods to do that. And we're going to do these tonight. But understanding the path of the Bodhisattva training this interior mental process and keeping a state of good physical health is very, very important. So, what to do? Well, first of all, you need the guidance of somebody, man or woman, or even a group. That's why I said we were called. That's already doing this. And lucky for us, this organization, this shamanistic Lamaism stuff, is everywhere. You know, it used to be just locked into parts of India and the Himalayan countries, and parts of Tibet, and a little bit of Mongolia and eastern China. But now it's prolific. It's throughout Europe, throughout the United States, Canada, South America, and other countries. You can find a t-shirt, man or woman, or a Dharma center. I mean, I went to New Zealand and I found 4 in 2 weeks. And I was amazed. They were all totally set up with all the appropriate shrine rooms, statues, halls for meetings, places for people to stay, cabins. One place even had a small hotel with rooms. Huh? Stupas, yeah, everything. But they didn't have any lamas. Not one had a lama. The lamas had come there, done all that, and gone. Either died or left. Wow, these same places are functioning on their own. Well, and then I found out that one lama was in Australia, uses his particular one, North Island, New Zealand, for sending people from Australia to do retreats there, either by themselves or with a group or couple or whatever, which was pretty cool. And to make a long story short, there's the information and the availability of of a teacher in this tradition, you can easily find. Either on the web, YouTube, for instance. If you put Lama Tashi on YouTube, you'll get about 20 Lama Tashis, because it's like Joe in America. Tashi means auspicious, good luck. That's me. And that's my name. And so when we start with the Lama, because you need to reference your inner nature as a Lama teacher. The word law has many meanings in that. But it's honorific. Law are gods and goddesses. Law is life force. Life support, law. Law is elemental energy. But in Tibetan Buddhism, law is attached to ma. So this is where we have, in like Japanese, have sensei, because I don't understand Japanese. Sensei means teacher. But lama in Tibetan means honorable mother. So this outer teacher is kind of like, an aspect of mother, loving, kind, and considerate. Oh, that's cool. Well, that's the basis of all the practice. Understanding that, then your compassion, your concern for the well-being of others arises naturally because you have a role model, And role models are good, like the Dalai Lama is one of my role models. He's amazing, and powerful, and always available, So that's the situation. Now, to start the class tonight, since we've taken refuge, I want you to understand that Guru Yoga is all of Tibetan Buddhism. But the Guru is an outside support to your already existing inner nature. And it doesn't apply to every human being, this inner nature. Most humans don't have it. I mean, they have the nature, but they don't know how. They don't want to access it, or they can't access it because of their karmic predisposition or their situation. But for those that can, I'll refer to this book, Sangha Rakshita's book, and he put it this way. All sentient beings have 3 seeds of consciousness. I call them tendencies. And tendencies translates for me into karma. So if you anybody want to understand the word karma, look at your own or other people's tendencies. And these don't go away. They're subliminal. Somehow they carry from one life situation to the next.
But we can transform them.
Yes. But you need help to deal with these because of their subliminal nature. It's kind of like, this computer has subliminal aspects too. And one of them I remember that may be still going on was called subliminal advertising, where they could throw stuff into whatever you're reviewing on TV or your social media without you knowing it. See? But that's the way your consciousness is. So you need support, you need help. And the big reason is because your idea of yourself is so powerful, has been ingrained in your mind consciousness so many thousands of lifetimes that it has tremendous power.
By that, do you mean ego?
Huh?
So, are you talking about ego?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, your idea of the self, ego. But it doesn't stop there. This ego, with all this power that you've accumulated, you think you have a soul, you think you exist as a separate entity and all of this, is not only false, but it identifies itself as separate from everything and everybody else through the sensual process and through this habit of fixating on what? Me. That's a very, very powerful word, me. You know, I have a trick. I take the M and turn it upside down. You have to use your imagination. We. Anyway, this egocentric consciousness with this idea of everything being separate is controllable. And once you start to discipline and start to remove that false idea of a self existing separate from everybody else, then you've opened up a whole new universal aspect of your consciousness. And as this opens up, you need the role model, man or woman, Lama, and the Sangha to help, and the Dharma. Dharma means wisdom. Dar, wisdom mother. You need all three. And to transform it, because it's an energy thing. Same way you do a computer. You don't like to program the computer, you switch channels, you reprogram. Or you go get a code writer. You know? Make a new algorithm. How do you say that right? Algorithm. So there we are.
So the 3 C's?
Pardon me?
3 C's?
Oh, the 3 C's. Getting back to I'm taking what I used to call the ladder. That all of us are on this ladder. And we're all proceeding to this level of understanding everything, called omniscience, and how to use it, which is called omnipotence, to the availability and good health of everybody. That's called omnipresent. I'm using Latin now. Omni means all. So this ladder, in the human condition, everybody's at different rungs. Well, this guy, Sangha Ramshita, this Bodhisattva teacher, who is the Lama, put it like this. Everybody has 3 C's. C's, S-E-E-D-S. And it goes like this. And he explained it for the human condition. In the human condition, most people have good seeds and bad seeds. Okay? And he used the color code blue and red. And then there are some people that have gold seeds or white seeds. And he says, those gold seeds are your wisdom nature that has been developed in previous lives with tendencies coming up this life. That's why on this program, we have 8 billion people on this planet, and maybe, if I'm lucky, 5 are watching. On this island, we have 80,000 people, 50,000 tourists. Tonight, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and Ringo, the dog. You got to keep a sense of humor about it. You know, but slowly, more and more people are stepping on the path of Bodhisattva because they have those gold seeds. Now, if you have a propensity of good seeds, then you're a good person and your tendencies are creative, helpful, kind, considerate, even compassionate. Those kind usually end up heavenly situated in the heavens. Rare as it is, there's a few make it. It's kind of like very few people from Hawaii make it to Las Vegas, but everybody wants to go to Las Vegas for some reason. So that's the good seed. The bad seed seem to be prevalent on this planet throughout the human condition and all culture. And it's a top-down situation. And by that I mean the social programs of religions, military, government, corporations, etc., family, are burdened with this. And these people are supposed to be running the show or guiding it. Well, It's not working. So where does that kind of tendency of having an excess of bad seeds, no gold seeds and a few good seeds, end up as harmful?
If everyone has Buddha nature, how could some people have no goals?
No, most people have no gold seeds. None.
But we all have Buddha nature.
You all have Buddha nature,
I don't think the Buddha nature seed.
but no tendency to develop it.
Oh, okay.
That's the goal seed,
That's
is
the
that
seed.
tendency,
Okay.
which we call karma. So now you understand why 1, 2, 3, 4 of us are in this class. And
Rare.
Ringo has good karma. So anyway, and the Zoomers that are watching this program tonight, and those that may watch it in the future. But the other 5 realms, besides the celestial and the human, which I just covered, are the bad seed. And it starts with the Asura. And they're heavenly creatures. They have power. They have everything they need, but they have harmful tendencies to create fighting and quarreling and war and wreck the environment and everything. Okay. Then you have the power monger. This level of spirit never satisfied. More is not enough. And they're called hungry ghosts, but there's 280 categories of these mapped in the Tibetan tradition.
So there's the greedy one.
Yeah, it's pure greed. Not just a little greed, pure greed. Never fulfilled.
We can see how they dominate. They're dominating.
Well, that's their whole trip is to dominate.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Manipulate, control, enslave, subjugate, however you want to think about that. Very harmful. And then we have the hell realms. Well, actually, the hell realms are the closest to enlightenment of all of the conditions except the human. But there's very few humans that are capable, as I explained. But the hell realm doesn't have a choice. It's so bad that enlightenment is the only way.
Squeezed into a corner.
You know, and a lot of people that come to Dharma, I've been doing this for 40 years, so I guess it makes sense, are driven into the Dharma by their own negative condition. Either they're close to death, very sick, mentally incompetent, or in serious trouble.
That's why I came.
Happy and confident. You had 23 years of training behind you. You had so many gold seeds. Sickening. No,
That's the drove me to the Dharma, though.
very helpful. You have.
Anyway.
You want to say that, but that's right. It's kind of like that. Some people get themselves in such serious situations. They got to go see a lama. They see the Dalai Lama and they hear what he says and they go, "Wow, that strikes a chord." See? So, what about animals? Well, animals have good seeds and bad seeds. And you can tell that in the animal world because there's nice animals and then really nasty critters out there. I'm an ocean man. I've been in the ocean all my life, on it and under it. And I should say, yeah. And I'm lucky to be alive. Because I can tell you, in the ocean, the bad seed ones outnumber the good seed. So, the animal world is like this. They're a mixed karma, good and bad. And no gold. They have good in nature, but no ability to use it. But what's nice about what I'm talking about, what's encouraging, is all these sentient beings were once human. This is what I'm talking about, impermanence. That's what I'm talking about. There's no separation. And again, no matter where they're finding themselves emotionally in the picture I just painted, they will be humans again. And hopefully when they come on a planet into the human condition, man or woman, they bring a lot of gold seeds with them. And predominantly good seeds. And of course, there are a few bad ones. Well, that's what we're working on. That's what meditation is for, specifically. So I'm going to start tonight with the meditation practice of what Kalu Rinpoche, my root lama, root lama. In Tibetan Buddhism, it mentioned prostration. When you do prostrations in the Kagyu tradition, you create a tree of lamas on the branches in front of you, and you're down here doing prostrations, and all your Sangha members, friends, relatives, everybody around the lake where the tree is coming up on are doing these prostrations with you. And right in the middle of this tree is your root lama, the one that kicked your butt, got you going to do Bodhisattva practice. Mine was Ranger and Kunkab Kalu Rinpoche, who is now called Kalu Yansi Rinpoche, in his present incarnation or form. But in any case, you should know this, and it's part of the taking prostrations. You visualize this in front of you, and this Root Lama called Dorje Cham is whatever deity practice you're doing. You're connecting to that. And I'm going to put this up in the screen. There's a lot more to this than that, but you have a prayer that you say while you're doing the prostration, which is the refuge prayer. That one, or I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, Lama, deity, and protector, in order to bring myself and all beings to recognize my Buddha nature, our Buddha nature, enlightenment. So we're going to start with that as this prayer of this rain of blessings, which Kalu Rinpoche and Lama Tenzin and Lama Rinchen had translated and created this book for all our Dharma centers in Hawaii, and I think all of the Dharma centers of the Kagyu tradition have this. There's another one called the Rainfall Blessings, which is the Nyingmapa tradition based on Padmasambhava. But that's more of a soak offering kind of text, but it is ultimate Guru Yoga, just like this. Well, I'm going to read this, and I understand what we're doing is that picture I just showed you. Homage. I and all beings filling space respectfully take refuge in the infinite aspects of the three jewels and three roots. We practice this profound path of Guru Yoga so that all beings will realize enlightenment. And it says to do that prayer 3 times, with or without prostration. And then it has a mantra that says, Om Subhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Subhava Shuddha Om, which everything rises from your wisdom nature and goes back to that in the same way that everything arises from space, presents itself, and then goes back to space. That's what Hom means. And then to continue. Within this expanse of space or emptiness, in the space just before me, upon a lion throne, lotus, sun, and moon seat, as a Buddha is my Lama Vajradhara, embodiment of the three roots. All the Lamas, all the lineage masters, all of the deities, peaceful and protector, and their Dakini. He is blue like the sky, holds a Vajra and bell. All Lamas have Vajra and bell. You can have those 3 things, robes, Vajra, bell, and a mall. Everything else you don't need. That's all they say. He is fully arrayed in fine silks and jewels and sits in the Vajra posture. He is joined inseparably with his consort, the natural luminous splendor of space. Now this is the ultimate Tara. This is the element, we say the ultimate mother element, space. and the light and energy of space, which is everything. The light from his and her heart invokes the three roots and three jewels who descend like rain and dissolve into him. And that's why this book is called The Rainfall, the Blessing. In his nature and the nature of the world, all are united. I and all others imagine our forms multiplied as many times as there are atoms in the universe. Each of these bowing with honor and respect before the Lama and the consort, embodiment of all sources of refuge. Limitless clouds of offerings, outer, inner, and secret, expand to all universes and all dimensions of being. All this we offer to you, kind Lama. With intense regret, we acknowledge all of our negative and obscuring faults, downfalls, and harmful tendencies, perpetuated since beginningless time through limitless lives, and now we resolve to avoid their repetition. We rejoice and delight in all virtuous action, whether it be conditional in the drama world or unconditional in the natural mind, of both samsara and nirvana. For the sake of all beings, our mothers of old, who wander in darkness, please set ablaze the torch of the vast and profound teaching until all of us have attained your unsurpassable realization and how to use it. Please remain immutable, indestructible, like the symbol of the Vajra, in whatever manifest form you find appropriate. To all beings, we dedicate all virtue of the three times. May we all together attain your state of Vajradhara and Vajradharana. So that's the opening prayer of this text, Rainfall Blessing. So now we meditate. Now what we're doing when we meditate, hearing this profound training method of starting with the outer source and a symbol like I showed you, the refuge tree and Buddha Lama in his blue form, is to take that information into your heart and make this a symbol of a safe place where the drama world, the judgment of good and bad and all that stuff doesn't exist. No meditation, you're just sitting and allowing this to take. The simplicity of the practice is to simply be present. Then we proceed with the text. But as we do this, you're getting a feeling of the infinite situation you're entering into, the infinite potential of your own power, your own energy program. And you're contemplating an alternative to the unfavorableness of the drama world. I'm sorry. The next part of this text is to call all the lineage masters. I do it like this when I wake up. First of all the dream state I dissolve into voidness with the mantra Om Amitabha Deva Hri, which means everything is infinite light, the Buddha of infinite light, which is like a supernova going off in my heart, mind. Then I say, I pray for the blessing of my Lama Guru, my great and completely worthy spiritual friend. I pray that outstanding loving kindness, compassion, power, and insight will penetrate my stream of being right now, today. Then I do the lineage prayer, which I've memorized, but I'm just going to mention a few. And when you do a lineage prayer, when you say the names of these bygone masters, which go back to Shakyamuni Buddha, 2,600 years ago, you're calling them into your present situation as support. So I'm going to start with our lineage founders, which were two women, Neguma, which was a lineage woman teacher in India, one of the 84 Mahasiddhas, and Sukhasiddhi, who was her student that she passed the lineage on to. And then how did these two get into Tibet? Well, then Khyentse Naljor came and studied with both of them because he lived about 150 years and took them into Tibet. So from those three, I'm coming right down to the present, my present teachers, Lama Rinchen, Lama Tenzin, Lama Temple, Lama Tenzin, and so forth, Lama Lodro. I can go on for 50 names. I've got them all because they're my teachers. I need a lot of help. I mean, I have some good seed. They still need help.
You forgot Kalu Rinpoche.
Well, Kalu Rinpoche is the root Lama.
Okay.
So he's timeless. You know, there's no beginning, middle, or end to this. Everybody wants to have the start, the middle, and the finish. That's how religions are. But we don't do that. Which right away opens your mind to infinite possibility. We're entering into the infinite. Omniscient means you know everything about everybody. And how to deal with that. That's omniscient. And we have it. So I'm going to skip all these lineage masters' names down to the present one, Kalu Rinpoche, Karmapa, Dalai Lama, and so forth. And come to the second part of the practice, which is to my present root Lama, Rangjung Kubjan, Kalu Rinpoche, with whom contact is most beneficial and appropriate. This being my root Lama, holder of the treasury of this oral instruction, we supplicate all of you with the force of strong, unchanging longing. Your body is Gaya Samaja, your speech is Mahamaya, your mind is He Vajra, your qualities are Chakra Samvara, your activity is inseparable from Yamantaka. To the holders of the profound instruction of the victorious scholar Saint Khyentse the Yogin, down to the present day teachers, from the depths of your compassion, please bestow siddhis. Siddhis means accomplishments, outer, relative siddhi, inner, ultimate siddhi. And bless us so that the warmth of Tumo, our own natural heart-mind, blaze within us. Bless us that this illusion may spontaneously dawn without any attachment Bless us that the deity's body arises not only in the waking state, but also in dreams. Bless us with the luminous radiance to be continuous and unbroken. Bless us with the unmistaken accomplishment of Kachara at the moment of death, which simply means returning to the womb of the natural world as a mother, space. And bless us with the attainment of the three bodies in the bardo, which are the body, speech, and mind of a bodhisattva. I mean, it's good to be a Buddha in the bardo too. Buddhists don't do bardo. Merely by hearing the name of the teacher, this world becomes squeezed dry of all emotionality and judgment. Having attained this level of great and accomplished masters, bless us that we may guide numerous beings to this state, and as many as exist in the sky in its vastness. Contemplate. Just like we did with a few minutes ago. Just bring yourself to the present. No meditation, no judgment. Don't block your body sensations. Don't block your thought. Just let it take. Dine, that's Tibetan for and then. It's in the text. At the end of each sequence of whatever, the little two words, dine. I said, what's dine? Why do they put those in between? Well, that means and then, which means to continue. And we're going to do that. This is about your body, speech, and mind being the basis of all the practice. And that all Buddhists know that they have to use those three. The body, speech, and mind. It's kind of like Kung Fu. You know, one can't work without the other. And all of the training is based on that. And no matter what yana you're using, Hinayana, Mahayana, or Tantric Vajrayana, no matter which one or a combination of those three you're using, what you're doing is you're taking your body, speech, and mind with that vehicle or combination of vehicles to another level of existence, just as you are. And see what happens. Like, I'm a gardener, see? Now, I went out and bought some seeds, talking about seeds. I went and bought some seeds today. But before I put them in the ground, I put it up here next to Tara as some kind of energy change for the seed. makes them more viable. It works. Then, of course, the elements are in charge of the earth, the water, the fire, and the air. So I'm inviting the appropriate elemental spirit to assist me in this endeavor of gardening. Well, that's for the plant world, which keeps us in good health. But this same aspect of gardening is exactly what the Dharma is. We're growing human, and we're very particular how we do it. I put a lot of work into this space where these seeds are going to go. And very best of everything. Like that, we deal with each other. But most important, we want to put our effort where we get the best result. If we're going to grow humans, we want to grow humans that are going to really be powerful, compassionate, kind, considerate, have insight, know this kind of stuff and what to do. They don't have to be Buddhists. They don't have to be tantric Buddhists. They don't have to be bodhisattvas. We can influence people just with our heart energy and setting a good example. To who? To the kids, for instance. To the neighbors, to your relatives, friends and lovers, even your enemies. That's what you do. And so it makes it kind of a worldly endeavor, planetary endeavor. That's what the children want. The children are crying all over the world because they want to live past 30. We have, and they call us old because we're past 30. So, here's with that. So this next part goes like this. Glorious root lamas and your assembly and lineage. You seated on a lotus sun and moon seed on the crown of my head. In your great kindness, please accept me as your student and grant realizations of your body, speech, and mind. Homage. I and all beings respectfully take refuge in the infinite aspects of the three jewels and the three roots. We are practicing this profound path of Guru Yoga so that all beings will realize their true nature called enlightenment. With this expansive emptiness is the root lama as Vajradhara in union with the consort. Precious Lama, essence of all Buddhas of the three times, please cause me to release self-clinging for the sake of all beings. Self-clinging is called ego fixation. Subject-object duality, all kinds of names. But it's delusion, it's ignorance, it's stupidity, it's bewilderment. It has tons of judgmental quality. And you should know this. Because that's not true. It's a con game. We've been scammed. So please cause needlessness to arise in my being. Now the state of the human condition, in a word, is needy. From birth to the moment we leave this walking corpse called the body, we have that ingrained. And we identify everything by that word, need. I need this, I need that. We need this, we need this. See? Do you really? I don't need my garden. The garden needs me. You got to reverse the situation. This universe, this planet needs us. but in a different mindset. So I'll continue. Please cause me to perfect the illusory body, both in the waking and dream state, through the practice of Sutra and Tantra. Grant your blessing for the attainment of the supreme accomplishments of knowing my own true nature and how to use it as a siddhi, as an accomplishment. Then let the clear light of Mahamudra, where I don't need this, to appear right now, immediately in my stream of being in this place. Relax. We continue. Precious, precious Lama, you who shows kindness in three ways, through your body, speech, and mind, please confer upon me the four maturing empowerment of the body, speech, and mind being all assembled in a unity, together with the body, speech, and mind of infinite sentient beings as my family. In this moment of this prayer, the cell Om amidst white light radiates from Om from the Lama's forehead. With this sound, with this vibration, this light is absorbed into my own forehead, into my consciousness. My obscurations of body are now purified. And at this moment, I receive the vase empowerment and empowered to cultivate the creation phase of Sutra and Tantric practice, which is the deity. Thus, I gained the good fortune to realize the fruition, the Nirmanakaya teacher. Then, the syllable Ah amidst red light radiates from the Ah at my Lama's throat and is absorbed into my throat. I now receive the secret empowerment of bliss energy. My obscurations of speech, as a result, are purified. And I'm empowered to practice the deity with the mantra, the vibratory sound of unity of myself and all sentient beings as one. At this point, the Sambhogakaya vehicle is sown, and its realization will be born. Then, from the syllable Hum amidst blue light radiates from the Hum in my Lama's heart and is absorbed into my heart. With this transmission, I receive the wisdom empowerment. My obscurations of mind are purified, and I'm now empowered to practice the path of the Lama, and the seed of the Dharmakaya is sown, and its realization will be born. Then my Lama melts into light and merges inseparably with me. With this unity, the fourth empowerment is received, and all obscurations of meditative equipoise and its results are purified, and I am empowered for the inconceivable practice of the union of Mahamudra, the natural state of the universe and my consciousness as the same thing. Having contemplated these words and taken them to heart, we continue. When these four kayas are realized, the inseparability of the expanse of totality and awareness is directly experienced, and from this experience there dawns the naked occurrence or city of bliss and voidness together. Thus, all minds merge as one, and at any time one can rest in this state of contemplation. Using this example of Mahamudra and the virtuous qualities that it can have, we realize the nature of the Lama and so establish every being without exception in that very state. In all my lives, may I never be separate from the authentic Lama, and so enjoy the magnificent richness of wisdom Dharma. May I fully perfect the qualities of the 5 paths and 10 grounds, and quickly attain the state of Vajradhara and Vajradharani in union. We continue with this Guru Yoga with the prayer, with the offering of Namo Guru Vaya, which simply means homage to the Lama as the outer support and my ultimate true nature. You who lovingly care for all who have deep connection with karma and aspiration with you, you who stir the depths of this ocean of suffering that is called samsara, are the great carrier that takes us on the path of freedom to permanent happiness and bliss. Your kindness can never be repaid. Lama, consider us. You who stop the beginning of the stream of karma, the disturbing emotions, judgments, and confusion. You who turn us away from the path of cyclic existence by establishing the 3 disciplines of my own body, speech, and mind, and you who unite our minds with the Dharma wisdom through your maturing and liberating instruction. Among all the supreme guides, you are sovereign. Lama, consider us. The flames of your wisdom consume the jungle of ignorance and illusion. You directly reveal the true face, the Dharmakaya, the all-pervasive nature of mind as awareness in itself. Place us in this very life, in this royal domain of non-dual union. All-pervading Lord, Master, and Teacher of all enlightened aspects, Lama, consider us. Noble Lama, sovereign of infinite mandalas. Noble Lama, source of all that is appropriate and necessary or desired. From the depths of our hearts, we supplicate you. Grant your blessing so that I and others, our mothers of old, the 6 kinds of beings, may all be quickly liberated from this swamp of misery that is samsara, and never be stuck in the mind of we call nirvana or bliss. May we all become inseparable from the relinquishment and realization of the ocean of accomplishment of all the Kagyu masters. May our minds merge with the earth. Om, ah, om, ah, oh, three. Say that. Om, ah, om, ah, oh, three. Short break. I think we should stand up and do a little shake. You know? And if you need to do the bathroom or get a drink. Any questions? Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. We have a room back here with all kinds of sutra texts and dharma texts and books and tons of pictures and tapes and videos, all kinds of dharma stuff. Then we have this 3 cabinets packed full. And most of what's in there is when the lamas come for the Maha call, then we take all that out and they use it, we use it for that specific purpose. But what is going on is not apparent. Not apparent by that I mean in our social endeavors and through the media, with all these social medias, all this information process, newspapers, magazines, publications, word of mouth, everything, we're not making progress. We're not progressing. We've evolved up to this level as human beings, human condition. Yes, of course, we started as ape-like animals and then evolutionary process increased over time because of the environmental situations and so forth. But now we've come to this civilization we call civilization. Well, the word civil isn't working. we're not civil. We're not interacting in a civil manner with each other. Through the media, especially. Okay, so this says, okay, we have a problem. Well, the Chinese problem have a word for problem, which means an opportunity to progress. You know, we like to be challenged. Okay, so as a human race, 8 billion humans, we really challenged ourselves. But you must understand that the spirit energy is where the religions come from through this evolutionary process in the last few thousand years. You know, starting maybe 5,000 BC, maybe earlier, I don't know. But in the present time, we're not including the spirits in this process of being civil, being civilized. And it's not just a misunderstanding, it's an absolute ignorance of the word spirituality, which all the religions have spirit. You know, the Christians have Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, and their saints and so forth. These are guides. These are role models. They existed. They existed in human form, and now they're in this. They're these spiritual symbols, and they're basing everything on myth. Mythical means these symbols are being misinterpreted spiritually. And so, what are we doing, bringing it to us tonight? Well, we're taking this aspect of this evolutionary process, which has come down to our ability to understand, focus, and be intelligent, and make things. Make things work, like gardening. Plant a garden, get the results, you eat the food, you get healthy. Just like that. But the spirit world should be incorporated more than just a few spirits. You know, I mean, I grew up with Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, and they were very helpful as role models, and I had the Catholic faith and so forth, and I followed to my dad, who was a Catholic, and my mother, who was an atheist. So luckily, I got the best of both. Yeah, this doesn't work for me, but over here it did, and they were loving and kind towards each other. So it's a good example of how opposites work. So, in Tibetan Buddhism, it's called shamanistic lamaism because in Tibet they use the spirit world to survive, to take on a horrific environment of extreme cold and desert-like situation of ice and rock and very little moisture and inability to grow food and so forth and survive. And they use the spirit world to do that because the spirits control almost everything. They control the weather. They control the elements. The spirits in the earth are called the Nagas. The spirits in the earth, they have words for them. They have the spirits of the water, the air, fire, and so forth. These 5 elemental energies created us in the mother's womb. These 5 elemental energies stabilize, support us right now. The clothes you wear, everything. But these elemental energies are spirit-like energies, and they can be invoked. And so we have Hinduism does that. I used to be Hindu. Sufis were desert tribes that survived using these elemental energies. And very powerfully. So I had a lucky me, I was Sufi. So then she taught me all this. And so we had Sufi retreats and we did these things. And they worked. They're very based on the heart of loving kindness, just like us. I'm explaining this because people do not understand that they can be helping us in the endeavor of saving the planet. Of us not becoming extinct along with the animals. On this island, 90% of the animals that used to be here, they're extinct. In the ocean around us, these islands, same. I've watched it because I'm in the ocean. And the Hawaiians that lived here never had that problem because they used the spirit energy to survive. Yes, they weren't all very nice, loving, kind towards each other, island to island, and so forth. Like the Tahitians came here with their war gods, and then they took out the Polynesians and enslaved them and killed them by the thousands, and so forth. Yes, they still had war problems. But mostly, they knew what to do with the land, how to take care of it, what to do with the water, the Aina and the Kai, what to do with the animals. Okay? And the spirits were their survival. Then that all died out. All the kahunas who knew how to meditate and focus and use that elemental energy with their various practices, hula being one that survived, and chants and so forth, worked. But here we are, La La Landers, Madlanders come to Hawaii from the Madland, called America. And the missionaries kind of didn't go along with the program. I have to say that I think that a lot of what's going on here are reincarnated missionaries. They say they're Hawaiians, but I think they're. That's my thing, but we won't go. So what I'm suggesting to the
Don't ever say that outside of this house.
no, this is good.
That's why there's so many.
This is to be done on a worldwide situation where we invoke the elemental energy, and it's not that hard to do. You know, shamanistic practices. We have a thing going on with the women of the planet. It's called witchcraft. Okay, now witchcraft is everywhere. They do the same things we do. They have their mandalas, their diagrams, their mantras, or they're invoking these spirits and not for very altruistic motives, but it works. The problem is you have to be careful with spirits because they really have a problem with us because we're messing up their environmental situation and they liked it the way it was and not that way. So you have to have an extreme amount of concern for their well-being and befriend them. That's what shamanistic Lamaism is about, the Sutra and Tantra tradition. And there's another word, debtors. Now you don't know what or who you messed with in previous life. But just give it a thought. Those are the spirits. Those were your mothers, girlfriends, fathers. But a lot of them were your enemies that you killed and did some really bad things to. And they think they're called debtors. And so somehow, some way we have
They come to collect.
Yeah, they do collect. And if you have a sense of awareness about your physical being, you can feel it. You can feel when they hit you. You can feel when somebody has negative energy that comes into your presence. You can feel when things are disharmonious, is the best word. You can feel it. I mean, you get a heaviness about it, or you get a really bad feeling or mood. You go get all moody.
Chicken skin.
Huh?
Chicken skin. Chicken skin. Goosebumps.
Oh, yeah.
So it may turn your thoughts and make you think.
Yes, they can invade your mental
Oh, yeah.
process.
It can make you think dark thoughts
Really dark.
and see spiders.
Okay. And you know, these people are doing these other practices, religions or witchcraft or whatever, sorcerers. They're called sorcerers. Okay? Any form of sorcery, they do not have an altruistic motivation about what they're doing. It's totally me, mine. And they do it in groups or individually. And they have cults, like us.
They call themselves good stuff.
What they do?
They call themselves good.
Oh yeah, they think they're great, good-hearted. But they're very limited with
They
that.
don't really, I think in the beginning, they don't know what they're
Yeah.
doing. In the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why am I putting this out in the Dharma class?
Yeah, why are you?
Because 90% of what we and Abby and I do is interaction with the spirit. I mentioned the garden. Okay, this shrine is here so that we stabilize the spirit energy of this house, this property, this neighborhood, this part of the island. And maybe the whole island, I don't know. I think that, but
Oh, we did practices every day, protector practices, to keep all that away.
we have awareness. But Gabby and myself, we have these gold seeds. And with these gold seeds comes siddhis. The word siddhi, two words. It means accomplishment. And special qualities, the better way to put it. Now we all have special qualities. And special qualities can make you not only healthy but rich. Get whatever you want. It's called the eight worldly dharmas: praise and blame, disgrace
We
and
don't have
blame,
that one.
pleasure and pain, loss and gain. Okay, so you got the good seeds and the bad seeds in those eight worlds. You got four bad or good.
These guys have gold teeth.
But when you do these practices, we're invoking a kind of spirit energy based on everybody's welfare, including the spirit, the animal, and the human. Those are the only three kinds of sentient beings that suffer. The plants don't suffer. The environment doesn't suffer. Why? Because they don't have emotions. They don't judge. The universe doesn't do that. Contrary to all the religious people, it just doesn't do that. You know? Like across the street, they dug up their whole yard all the way around the house and put in the toilet system, which is a state law. So all the cesspools in Hawaii are illegal. So you got to dig them all up and put in septic tanks. Oh boy. In the ground are these spirits, nagas. They like it the way it is. They don't want it. They don't even like it to dig a shovel.
I didn't even think of that. All of them were disturbed.
Very
All
disturbed.
that digging.
Well, I've been feeling,
A week they were digging.
this has been going on for the whole week. But I've been feeling it. And that's why I've been putting special energy to my garden.
Yeah.
And I'm very careful when I do the gardening not to kill I just put 1,000 worms in the garden. And we brought them from Texas. Yeah, they are. They're diggers. They're called red wigglers. They're about this big. They'll go right through clay, hard rock, everything.
They came in the mailbox. Really?
Yeah, and they leave nice poop on
Now
them.
one of them died.
Oh,
Like-
good. Wow.
And so we're very careful in the garden not to disturb, not only the dirt, which has the spirit. And in the garden, we put a treasure base deep down in the garden with texts and all kinds of good energy stuff. 11 years ago, 12 years ago.
11 years. Maybe.
It's down there, way deeper than I can dig. And so that's our offering to pacify. Be friend. Every morning we start off, the first thing I do is I make a very special kind of coffee, and I make oat cake, which my grandmother taught me. And those are the first offerings. As soon as I get up, I get a little plate and a little cup of it. I put it on the shrine right here. And every afternoon and evening, we throw them outside. Outside. Then we have another shrine set up.
Well, something everyone should do every morning.
Yeah, I'm telling you this because we should be doing this. You know, you're in a hotel room someplace where you got water in the hotel room.
Water and crackers.
And you're going to have to poop and pee, and the spirits live on odors. You can offer your poop and pee, you can offer your farts.
Have a
You start to rethink that it's not just about animals and humans here. Now, the spirit world way outnumbers animals and humans. They're the most prolific. They're the four categories. We're only two. And humans, we're a speck of all sentient beings in the whole universe. Okay? Yes, there are certain planets where in certain galaxies where we can just do what we're doing here. But you got to start thinking that when you do a puja and you take refuge and you say you're thinking all sentient beings are the reason for your doing this puja, you've got to think about the spirit. And then do something physically to include light incense. That's why we burn incense. Candles, they're attracted to light. The dark energy spirits are 99% of the spirit.
So if that had been our yard that was dug up, would we, what would we do? What pujas would we do?
We'd be
As
doing
a-
Mahakala 24/7.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, which have we been doing?
These guys don't know that, but Green Tara.
Anyway, yeah, good Tara or Chetney. Om Mani Padme Hum to the mat. Okay. Because the whole reason the world is going extinct is because of the environmental damage that is that's occurring. It has been occurring for the last 1,000 years with this industrial age. Now it's to the max. These people, it's pure greed now.
In Bhutan, when they were putting in that underground water,
So the water
the electrical
generators,
the
like
generators in underground. So every layer that they dug, they did a puja. They just did that all the way down. And so then they put their system in, and they made it so that from the surface, you can't even tell
You
that
can't.
anything was ever done to the earth at all. It just looked totally natural.
Yeah, so instead of damming the
Isn't that
rivers
something?
like we do in America,
And it generated all this electrical energy.
and they had llamas on hand doing practices the whole time. When you go to Mount Everest, you go up to the first base camp, the llamas are there, the Chirpas are there, they're doing their pujas, they have their practice. They're not going up that mountain without
Pacifying the spirits.
pacifying the spirits. And that doesn't mean they're going to survive, but at least they got a chance.
So all the fracking is like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, fracking. That's what happened on the Big Island. Spirit blew out a whole community of people.
right?
800 to almost 1,000 homes. Property covered with land. Almost went to Hilo. But in any case, that's a good example. So I'm saying this in this class tonight because people are watching and so forth. So what do you do? Know that these pujas are, when you say your mantras, these spirits are being invoked. And you are telling them you want to cooperate, you want to be their friend. You want to change their horrific suffering situation so that they can come back into the human condition again and enjoy being a human being and maybe a bodhisattva and maybe become a Buddha, which is our true nature. All sentient beings have Buddha nature. But there's 3 seeds problem there, see, because this has been going on forever. And it'll be going on forever in the future. So just take time, this 4 times: past, present, future, and timeless. When we sit here tonight and allow the heart energy of these prayers, these words, to take in your situation, that's timeless. You can't say you're present. I say be present. But you cannot find present. There's no such thing. Because everything that you are sensing, as soon as you sense it, is in the past, so it's gone. It doesn't exist. Well, you should know that. So you can't find present. If you can't find present, you can't find an I or a soul or a me or a mind or any form of separation. That's the Buddha field. That's the symbol of the Buddha. So we can do that. And that's your safe zone. Boy, what's been going on across the street? Beep, 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 all day, every day. Boom, cheap. You know what they're digging up? Their cesspool. You know what this neighborhood's been smelling like? A big turd.
We have this whole side of the house.
We got the doors closed, everything closed, the fans going, incense. The spirits loved it.
Oh, yeah.
The ones that order eaters loved it. The ones that were the nagas in the ground, they didn't like it.
Yeah.
They're all around it.
Well.
So make your water, offer your coffee, offer your farts, offer your poop, put a little food and set up a shrine. Bless your car, because your car, ooh, they don't like cars. They don't like planes. They don't like
A lot of electric ones.
Yeah, stink pot. You know that girl that's headed the children's revolt? This,
What's her name?
Oh, Greta?
Greta.
Yeah.
she sailed here, but her boat, no engine. Environmentally sound way of travel. She would not fly. Because she knows the airplane, what it's doing to the air. You know, finally, the airlines are finally admitting, yeah, they're environmentally disastrous.
She won't buy anything plastic or doesn't buy things. The non-consumer.
But she's right on the physical level, but it's way more than that on the spiritual level.
I don't think she gets that.
And because these children are coming out of the closet, like the gay people and the women in the world are doing, we have to come out of the closet. We are coming out of the closet tonight. And so let's get going with this. Now back to our spiritual nature. So yes, we have the sutra. Yes, we have the tantra. Yes, we have the hinayana, the self-motivated person who's meditating and doing a good person and making all the right prayers and eventually probably go to heaven. But when you enter into the bodhisattva path, it's all about all sentient beings, including the spirit. But where does this civil mind program, where does it go? What's the benefit? The benefit is the safe zone of Mahamudra, which is your intelligence. Using it without emotionality, without needing it. Okay? Yes, we have all this understanding of this environment and all the things that are going on, good and bad and so forth, and we know some of the antidotes. But the ultimate truth is that you're never consciously going to disappear. You can. The Hindus call it Brahma. It's a state of cessation. But it's not permanent. You can go into that state of voidness, but they fixate on it and identify with who they are. That's a mistake.
So there's still an I.
So I'm about to read you about your state of nothingness and how to use it. And this is by Karmapa. Actually, the third Karmapa. That's about 900 years ago, 800 years ago. And this is called the Aspirations of Mahamudra, which is the definitive meaning of the natural state of mind, composed by Lama Rangjung Dorje, the third Karmapa, and again brought into meaning by the 16th Karmapa, who is my teacher. Now we're up to the 17th Karmapa, who is alive today. Anyway, this goes like this. Namo Guru, from which the lamas, yidams, deities of the mandala of all the Buddhas of the 3 times and 10 directions and all of their offspring. Look upon me with loving kindness and grant your blessings so that all my prayers may be accomplished exactly as I have. May the river of virtue of the threefold purity of my body, speech, and mind, sprung from the pure mountain of skillful action of myself and innumerable sentient beings. May all of this be united with the ocean of the 4 bodies of the Buddha. Until this is accomplished, may I in this life and through all my successions of birth in the future enjoy the goodness of an ocean of happiness and virtue, and may the din of torment and suffering never be heard. Having obtained a precious human body, free and well endowed, with faith, energy, and intelligence, and having attended upon a worthy spiritual friend, may I practice this wisdom dharma properly as I have received it. now in this life and all future lives without interruption. Studying the scriptures, which I mentioned 3 books tonight, and developing the intellect may I be free from the obscuration of ignorance, delusion, and judgment. Contemplating the oral instruction of the teachers in my Lama, may the darkness of doubt be overcome. By the light of meditation, may the natural state shine forth just as it is, and with practice how to use it. And may the light of the threefold knowledges constantly increase. That's what we put Soha on the end of mantra. From the meaning of the ground, which is simply the two truths of the relative and ultimate being the same, and the limits of the extreme views, and all the supreme paths of the 2 accumulations of virtue and merit, may all of this be free from the extreme of praise and blame. Attaining the fruit of the 2 benefits for myself and others, which is free from the extremes of drama of becoming and being fixated on the state of peace and tranquility, may I meet this unerring Dharma. The ground of purification is simply the mind itself, inseparable from voidness. The means of purification is the great Vajra Yoga of the state of Mahamudra. The object of the purification is the transitory state of confusion. May I truly realize the fruit of purification, the pristine Dharmakaya as my own natural mind, all pervasive and all compassionate. Resolving all doubt brings conviction to the view. Maintaining this in practice without wavering is the key point of meditation. Training skillfully in all points of meditation is our supreme action. May I be confident in the view, meditation, and action as inseparable. All dharmas are phantoms of the mind, and the mind is no mind. It doesn't exist. The mind's nature is emptiness. Through this emptiness, may it manifest as everything. And having manifest as everything and anything without seeing, may I know its usefulness. Investigating well with training, may I discern the root basis as space. Spontaneous appearance, which has never existed, has been mistaken for an object. Through ignorance, spontaneous awareness is confused as a self or an I. Under the influence of this duality, we wander continuously in this world of pain and suffering. May I cut off ignorance and confusion at the root. It does not exist if even Buddhas have not seen it. But it does not exist because it is the basis for all of samsara and nirvana. There being no contradiction between these 2 is the unity of the middle way called Mahamudra. May I realize the dharmata of boundless mind. If one says this is it, there's no reference. If one says this is not it, there's no ground for denial. May I gain conviction of this perfect ultimate truth of the nature of my own consciousness. The unconditioned dharmata, which transcends intellect. Not realizing this, we circle in this ocean of samsara. Realizing Buddha or ultimate awareness is not other. There being no is or is not, may I become aware of this vital point of the all ground, the nature of things. Since appearance is mine and emptiness is also mine, since realization is mine and confusion is mine, since arising is mine and cessation is mine, may I cut through all doubts concerning this mind. Without spoiling it meditation or states of contemplation by egocentric intellectual effort and unmoved by the winds of worldly distraction, simply being able to settle in the uncontrived natural state. May I maintain this skill of practice as the essence of mine, calming the waves of subtle and coarse thought on their own ground. This river of unwavering mind comes naturally to rest. Free from the contaminations of dullness and conceptualization, may I become established in the unmoving ocean of samatha, looking again and again at the mind which cannot be seen, seeing vividly this meaning of not seeing, exactly as it is. May I cut off all doubt about existence and non-existence. May I mistakenly not know my own essence of the threefold purity of bliss, emptiness, and clarity. So we'll let that take. Only halfway through.
Really?
But just let that. And we use the last part of this class tonight doing the deity yoga of Manjushri. And as we do that, you must understand that the outer and inner natures are simply energy of light form. And everything in this universe that appears, whether it be in thought form or phenomena, is exactly that. So when we cut through all that, with that kind of view, that's your wisdom mind in practice. May I not waste the freedom and endowment of this precious human birth, which is so difficult to obtain. By making it meaningful in this way, we consider the transitory and unstable, changeable nature of phenomena in the state of constant change. May I now practice dispensing with leisure and cut short preoccupation, coming to appreciate the gross and subtle consequences of virtuous deeds compared to unwholesome deeds. May I be alert to cause and effect. Having seen enough of the suffering of the three realms of samsara and the six states of existence, may I renounce it and depart as a bodhisattva. May I and others, now and in the future, and at all times, find refuge in the three jewels and the three roots, and do this for the benefit of my parents, the six kinds of beings, numerous as the sky is vast. May love and compassion arise from the depths of my heart. practicing one pointedly on this island as a retreat with all favorable conditions, may my experience and realization go to completion. In all my successions of lives, may the holy lamas with authentic qualities look after me. May uncontrived awareness and devotion for my lama, the actual Buddha, be born in my heart. Knowing myself as a mandala of all the deities to be primordially present and spontaneously arisen, may its luminous appearance become stable through practice. By simply doing the practice, may I actually see the Lama, the Yidam, the Dakinis, and the protectors as my own faith. And now we'll do Manjushri. And the other day I gave a transmission, and to that person that I gave the transmission, which was over the telephone, I'm showing the seed elbow. I think I might have given it to you as a U laying on its side with a dot over it. But actually, it's a U laying on its side with a hook over it. So that's the D, the Sanskrit D. It has a ha attached to it, which means it's simply for this, the whom, which is actually is attached to almost all symbols. And also there's a little tiny ah, which is the symbol of the energy of all of these symbols. But all you need to see is this U, and it could be pointing to your left or right side. With this hook, which is the letter I. So this is spelled D-I, D. And if you add the whom, the ha, it's D-H-I. And it's in the mantra, Om, Ar, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, D, so on. So this D is like the creation sound of this particular Manjushri practice. And it is in the mantra, and it has 3 applications. The first application is what we do with all peaceful deities. We apply it to ourselves and all sentient beings pervading space as a mandala. The D is the heart center which connects you to the view of voidness. It is called the creation sound. And its energy is pure light, so we color it red, indicating luminosity or like fire, like any kind of radiation, like the sun. The D can be used, first of all, that way. That's the way all deity yogas are performed. The second way is to take the D and place it on a sword in the heart attached to 6 other swords and see the energy go to the 6 realms, the 4 of the spirit world and animal and human world. The third way, which we're going to do to finish the class tonight, is simply sound the D, visualizing it in the heart center, with no outer reference other than the natural state of the universe as a state of pure energy or light, filling space. So we're going to do that 3 ways right now with this Manjushri. Now Manjushri is this tanka over my right shoulder, showing the deity with the sword raised, 2 arms, left hand holding thumb and ring finger with the lotus blooming by the left ear with the heart sutra on it of Prajnaparamita, simply stating that all form is light or voidness, energy. And then the right hand raised with the blazing sword marked with a D with a Vajra handle. Vajra means indestructible, all elements, all states of awareness blended. That's like this. And you're sitting in a holographic body, so that means you're in a body of light, 3 eyes, young, handsome, smiling, white with the reddish clothes, dressed in silks and jewels as the qualities you possess. That's the gold seed. On a lotus sun and moon disk, which means that's how you symbolize taking birth in the human condition as your support. And then you apply that to yourself and to your mother in front facing you, into all the humans, animals, and spirits in the entire universe in your mind. Once your mind is filled with Manjushris, you as the center, then the mantra appears in your heart. The mantra is these souls surrounding the D, Om, Ah, Ra, Ha, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. So we're going to sound that mantra. We're Manjushri, all sentient beings Manjushri. Filling the universe, filling your mind. Mind, universe, no different. Om Ara Patsa Nadi Soha. 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 Now you change the mandala of all sentient beings, but you still include them, but with a different format. Simply use Manjushri. The D is now on a sword standing upright in your heart with a Vajra handle. And it connects 6 swords laying flat, pointing in 6 directions, with 6 of the mantra sounds on it. So the upright one has the D, and the other has the other 6 letters of that mantra. No Soha. These 6 blazing swords send the energy to the 6 drama worlds, the 4 spirit worlds, and wherever animals and humans take birth on the planet. Om Ara Patsa Nadi. 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 Then all the 6 swords and the upright sword all merge into their Vajra handles, and then all the 7 Vajras melt into one, into the D. Then you focus just on the D in red in your heart center, And it is surrounded by a 5-colored sphere of energy or light. And as you sound this D, you think of a supernova, infinite light blazing in every direction through infinite galaxies throughout space. That's it. Your mind, energy, the universe's energy, blend. That's Mahamudra. No judgment. D. Sound it. D. 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 Think of a strobe of blasting like our sun going over, exploding through space, everywhere. D, 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 D. Then reappear as Manjushri, 2 arms, or whatever yidam practice you are majoring in, Tara, Chenrezi, peaceful or protector practice, and dedicate the merit Gewa Di Nurdu Dam Chagya Chenpo Jugir Nen Chowa Chen King Malu Ba Deyi Sala Gopar Sho Sanjay Kusu Nenpai Jim La Dam Choni Megu Jenpai Jim La Dam Gendu Miche Dumpai Jim La Hi Chitar Goma Molam Jupar Sho. By this virtue and practice of having realized Mahamudra, may I quickly establish all beings without a single exception in this state, with the blessings of the 3 bodies of the Buddha being accomplished, with the blessing of the truth of this Dharma being unchanging, and to the blessing of the wishes of us and all Sangha being unwavering. May this dedication prayer be fulfilled to the benefit of all beings, our mothers in the 6th realm. May they all be happy, free of suffering, established in bliss and equanimity. May all the lamas have long life, good health, happiness, and prosperity, and may all their wishes be fulfilled. We say thank you, Tuchiche, Mahalo in Hawaiian.